All right, health officials have reported a total of 14 coronavirus cases in Louisiana as of Thursday.
And the headline, if you're watching online, 105ESPN.com, normally the ticker is full of topics on the right, and today it just says coronavirus.
NCAA President Mark Emmert announced Thursday that Division I's men's and basketball's 2020 basketball tournament and all remaining winter and spring sport championships have been canceled. Here is SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey yesterday on the Paul Feinbaum Show reacting to that decision.
I've been through enough surprising statements or events in the last 36 hours that I'm a bit numb, as you might imagine. Surprised that we've made a decision now in mid-March to not play a baseball or softball national championship event. So I look forward to learning what informed that decision. I know what's informed our decisions over the last day and a half or so. But the news from the NCAA, we were waiting on the basketball tournaments and some of the championships happening now, but obviously there was a decision to go further.
Will Wade yesterday, this is before the announcement was made that they were canceling the NCAA tournament, but they had canceled the Southeastern Conference basketball tournament.
It's part of it. You can kind of see it trending that way, and certainly disappointed, but understand the reasoning behind it. I think, given the information we have, it's the right call. But we just got to move on. I guess we ended our season with a 30-point win, so there's some positive in it.
Nice spin zone by Wade there, but that is, and that's probably what we'll kind of ruminate on today and talk about. But that is one of the more disappointing aspects about all this from a pure sports perspective is that guys like Skylar Mays, I'm thankful he got senior day, but he didn't get to go out on this stage that he should have. And as an athlete, you put so much into this that when you're entering a game and it might be your final game, there's a little more there. And so to have the kind of rug just pulled out from under you and all of a sudden you're like, oh no, you're getting ready for the biggest moment of the season. And then all of a sudden your career's done. And that's something that I just feel for these guys, man. It's got to be really hard to wrap your head around.
One more from Wade yesterday talking about just what's happening right now.
Yeah, I haven't talked to Coach Maneri or Coach Torina. I'm sure I'll text with him or talk to him tonight or tomorrow when we get back. But I know they're going through a little bit different than we are. I mean, we at the end of the day, we did get to play 31 games. We got to complete our regular season. Now, you do everything in the regular season for tournament time, and we weren't able to participate in the tournaments, which is disappointing. But we have a lot of great memories. We had a very good regular season, and I'm sure it's disappointing for those guys. And our track and field team, they had a bunch of people. They had a bunch of athletes that had qualified for nationals. I mean, they had a real chance to win it on the women's side and the men's side. And so there's everybody's going through it, and it's just the world we live in right now.
Yeah, and look, these are sports that we don't cover as much traditionally, but doesn't mean that the athletes and the coaches don't work just as hard. And yeah, the track and field team was number one in the nation, men's, women's, and our guy, Russell Brock, who we've been having on. This was his squad. I mean, you beat UCLA, something that nobody does, and you did it 2 weeks in a row. The home field was there, all these things. Like, he's worked his entire life to get to this moment, and these players have as well, and then all of a sudden, championships are done. I mean, I just keep going back to, like, what if after the SEC championship or after the Alabama game, football season had just been canceled? Yep. It would be heartbreaking.
Or you think of basketball programs that are experiencing that type of season that LSU football had. Not all the records and all the glory and the undefeated, but a season where they're on a championship-type run like Baylor, San Diego State, Dayton, teams that not necessarily are in the conversation
where the stars
every year.
have to align. It's not the Alabamas of the world where you're going to be in that playoff every single year, but where it just feels like all the disparate elements came together, and now your shot, which are so few and far between in sports, it's out the window, man.
If there is a demographic that's winning here, it has to be the college kids. A statement from university said Friday this will be the final day of normal classes for this spring. Classes are canceled through the week of March 16th, so that's 2 weeks of spring break the college kids have, and when they get back, online courses will begin March 30th, the week after spring break, and continue through the rest of the semester. The campus will remain open, and all employees are expected to continue working. Other leagues and tournaments that have been canceled, the XFL has canceled their regular season. The Players' Championship scrapped after their first round with PGA. The NHL has suspended play. Major League Baseball has delayed their opening day at least 2 weeks. Major League Soccer is postponed. Overwatch League events in March and April have been canceled. Formula One has called off Sunday's Australian Grand Prix, the opening race of its 2020 season. So a lot of reaction happening out there. Paul Maneri was on WBRZ yesterday talking about breaking the news to his team that their season was over.
Perspective is so important, and that's what I explained to the players. You know, all you have to do is look over your shoulder and see that there's a lot more people that are in worse conditions than we are having baseball games canceled. I mean, it's sad, and it's, you know, it's the time of their life. You know, you only get to go through the college experience one little segment of your life, and it's been interrupted now. And I feel for these kids. I feel for everybody that's put in so much work, but obviously there's bigger issues in the world, and we're citizens of the world, and somehow the world has to come to grips with what we're dealing with. And you know, you only pray and hope that somehow it gets under control in a relative time before too many people have lost their lives and so forth.
All right, we'll talk to Cole Kublik about the XFL and the decision to suspend that league this season.